Most people think hitting $100,000 means you are exactly 10% of the way to becoming a millionaire. But mathematically, if you look at the time stretching out in front of you, you are actually about 33% of the way there. This is a standard line graph showing how we are taught to measure financial progress. We track our wealth on the vertical y-axis, assuming every single dollar saved moves us exactly $1 closer to our goal. When you view your money through this lens, the process feels painfully slow. You save $10,000, you move up $10,000. You save $50,000, you move up $50,000. The core issue is that measuring wealth exclusively by the amount of dollars saved practically guarantees long-term psychological frustration. Because we expect a straight line, we check our accounts, do the math in our heads, and assume we will never reach our target. Misunderstanding this linear trap is the primary reason most people abandon their goals before they build actual wealth. Let's establish a baseline scenario. Assume you decide to invest $100 every single week into an account, and you get a conservative 8% annual return. To ground the math in reality, that $100 a week is about $400 a month. You are essentially giving up a high-end restaurant meal and a couple of random impulse buys. This chart tracks our progress over time. Notice how slowly the bar creeped along the bottom x-axis. At this pace, it takes 12 full years of consistent, boring weekly investing just to reach your first $100,000. When we break down that first $100,000, the numbers look frustrating. Around $62,000 came directly from your own paycheck, while only about $38,000 came from actual investment growth. This 12-year stretch is the psychological breaking point. Seeing minimal returns after years of discipline drives people to cash out and buy a new TV or finance a luxury car for instant gratification. But cashing out at year 12 because the dollar amount feels too low means you are abandoning the journey right before the math completely flips in your favor. To understand exponential growth, we have to rotate this chart and shift our analytical framework. We need to stop looking at the vertical money axis and focus entirely on the glowing horizontal line, the x-axis, which measures time. If you think linearly, you assume getting your next $100,000 will require another grueling 12 years of saving. Charlie Munger famously pointed out that the first $100,000 is notoriously the hardest hurdle to clear. You've spent 12 years pushing a massive boulder up a hill. But watch the timeline hack. Going from $100,000 to $200,000 doesn't take 12 years. It takes only 6 additional years. Out of that second $100,000, your personal contribution drops to roughly $32,000, while investment growth dominates the rest. The heavy lifting of wealth generation has permanently transferred away from your individual paycheck and over to compound interest. At $200,000, we need to stop thinking about the total dollar amount and view it as a critical milestone on the calendar. Mathematically, at year 18, you are exactly halfway to $1 million in terms of time. Your money is now working entirely behind the scenes, generating returns and then generating new returns on top of its own returns. Evaluating your success by the timeline instead of the dollar amount reveals that the ultimate finish line is radically closer than it looks on paper. Let's project this timeline forward to its natural conclusion, assuming you maintain the exact same habit of investing $100 a week. This chart shows the final milestone. Compound interest triggers an avalanche, and your account crosses $1 million at exactly year 36. Now we can resolve the opening paradox. We compare the total time of 36 years to the time it took to reach your first $100,000, which was 12 years. 12 is exactly 1/3 of 36. So when you hit $100,000, mathematically, you sit precisely at the 33% mark. The ultimate proof of this exponential reality is the final balance sheet. Out of the full $1 million, your total personal contribution over 3 decades was less than $190,000. At the end of the timeline, your investments generate roughly $80,000 annually in pure, effortless growth. Stop judging your financial progress by linear dollars.